Dolphins left tackle Teron Armstead announced his retirement, and a lot of people are now speculating that the Dolphins could be in play to trade up for pick 10. I'm going to discuss that and a few other teams that are likely trade down candidates, and also touch on Andrew Billings' retirement rumors. Do the Bears have a bigger need at D tackle than we thought? Today, I'm going to cover the rumors, what it means for the Bears going forward. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First, I want to go ahead and get this out of the way. Let me be clear. I 1000% believe that Andrew Billings is going to play in 2025. Nothing that anyone has said suggests otherwise. However, there are some rumors that Billings could retire after his contract ends this season. Big Bill's cousin Ryan Billings talked about it on both the Barroom Network and on Nomad's show this week. But the bottom line here is this: I do not believe this is something the Bears fans have to worry about, and I 1000% believe that Billings will play in 2025. But it is the last year of his contract. He just turned 30 years old a month ago, and he's recovering from a major offseason surgery, a torn pec muscle. So it's very possible that this is his last season in Chicago, even if he doesn't retire. But when it comes to 2025, he has spent the last 5 to 6 months rehabbing and getting his body ready to play for 2025. I do not think he would be doing that if he didn't plan on playing this season. But now let's go ahead and talk about these trade down options. The Dolphins now have a major need at left tackle, with Teron Armstead actually retiring. They picked 13th, only 3 picks behind us. Would they want to trade up? I know a lot of people are talking about this. They're only 3 picks behind us. The problem is, who are they trading up for? And if there is a left tackle on the board, we might actually take him. This one's tough, but the Dolphins do have some extra picks and would be able to afford moving up 3 spots in the draft. They have 2 4th-round picks and 2 5th-round picks, as well as both their second and third round selections as well. To me, I think this one does make a lot of sense, and the Dolphins are one of the most realistic trade targets when it comes to the Bears trading down from pick 10. But the next most likely candidate, I've went ahead and looked at a lot of teams out there, and it's the Seattle Seahawks. No team in this draft has more picks in the top 100 than Seattle. They have 2 second-rounders and 2 third-rounders, but they also have multiple selections in the 5th and 7th rounds as well. But for the fans that want the Bears to get an extra pick on day 2, no other team in the league has as many extra day 2 picks to trade up with the Bears in the first round as the Seattle Seahawks. They also own the 18th pick in the first round, which is only 8 spots behind us, and it really fits perfectly when it comes to the draft compensation that they would need to trade up. So the Seattle Seahawks are probably the most likely team. Now, they are rebuilding a bit, but they just did spend big on quarterback Sam Darnold, and if there is an impact player at 10 they really want, they have plenty of ammunition to get a deal done and still have plenty of picks in the top 100. And this is the biggest point here. I think this season, when it comes to trading down from pick 10, there aren't a ton of hypothetical scenarios that make sense. I think in this year's draft, more teams are going to want to trade down than teams that want to trade up. And on top of that, there aren't many teams after us in the first round that have extra picks on day 2. Other than the Miami Dolphins, the Seahawks are really the only other team that makes much sense. It doesn't mean that another team can't come out of the woods and get it done, but I don't really see that many options. The other situation really would be a team trading up for a quarterback at pick 10. And when teams trade up for a quarterback, that would mean potentially netting a first round pick in next year's draft. In that sense, really the Steelers are the team that makes the most sense. But the biggest problem with that scenario for me is, why would the Steelers trade up? When you look at the draft board, most of the teams between pick 10 and pick 21 already have quarterbacks. So unless they're scared of another team jumping up from behind them and coming all the way up to 10 to get Shedeur Sanders, why wouldn't they just wait and let him fall to pick 21? But that was a scenario that recently presented itself on ESPN's mock draft. It had the Steelers trading up from 21 and giving us a 3rd and 4th rounder in this year's draft and their first round pick next year. To me, I think that would be almost ridiculous for the Steelers. They don't have a second round pick in this draft, and they would give up the third and fourth rounder. So they wouldn't pick after pick 10 until round 5. And then they also wouldn't have a first round pick next year either. I get it. Yes, the Steelers do need a quarterback right now, but some of these mock drafts are kind of ridiculous. And as much as I would love to have an extra first round pick in next year's draft, I just find this trade scenario really hard to believe, and I don't know why the Steelers would do it. And I think that's the biggest point when it comes to this year's draft. Not a lot of teams are going to want to trade up. So I get it. I want to trade down too. I just don't know if there are going to be many realistic options or teams that want to move up to pick 10. If one presents itself, though, I do think Ryan Poles would be interested. Let me know how you got. Let me know what you guys think. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned. And until next time, bear down.